Hello, this is Survival-gyver, and today I'm going to be discussing paracord. So we have three kinds of paracord here. Obviously they're different colors, but they're different in other ways. So paracord is literally parachute cord. So for the US military, or I guess anyone else nowadays, jumping out of a plane with a bag gun, a bag, hopefully there's a parachute inside, those things are held up or inflated with these cordage. Now these cordage, although they're small, are actually really strong. There's seven classes of paracord. I have three here. There are some specialty ones which we're going to be getting into in a moment. But here are the three main ones that you can readily find available. So this green one is 325 paracord. The 325 denotes tensile strength. So even after you pull on this, once you're at full elasticity of it, it'll hold 325 pounds. The orange is the more common type, which is a 550 paracord. That holds 550 pounds. The black one is 1100 pounds. So paracord 1100. So how do they get different amounts? Well, let me give you a close-up of this one first. So this is actually made by Gear Aid. Comes with a little carabiner thing on it. I actually had to buy this to show you because I don't carry any of this otherwise. And I don't know if I can get this to focus. So I made small pieces here to show you. So it's really, really thin. So yeah, you could probably use it for a clothesline. Strong enough to use it for shoelaces. It's just really small. If you're looking for adding a different color offset for, say, bracelets or a belt or rifle sling or bag sling, all sorts of things. So that's the 325. This is the 550, which is the common one. Just about everybody has 550. It's a little bit thicker. It's a little flat too. So instead of it being completely round like the 325, the 550 is flat. Right? So this is the one you find almost everybody making bracelets out of. You can make shoelaces out of it. You can strengthen all sorts of things with it, like bags and such. There's a lot that goes into what you can do with it. It is cordage, so whatever you need cordage for, that's the one that is the most common. Not necessarily orange. It comes in millions of different colors and even designs. Now this one, this gigantic one here, see, is more of a round, but this is double the strength of the orange one. But it's also about double the thickness. So its strength is by how many strands are on the inside. So here I cut off some small sections. So we can see what's inside here. You can actually visually see the size difference between the three cords. Now they make smaller cords than the green one. They make larger cords than the black one. Of course, depending on whatever the core material is, depends on how strong it's going to be. So that's the easy part there, right? So I'll start off with this green one here. Sealed on that one end. Let me see if I could get the strands out of the inside. It's the hard part because it's so thin. Thinner than what I'm used to using anyway. So this is a bit of a surprise because most 325 cord is 3-strand. This is 2-strand. And of those 2 strands, there's 3 inner strands. You can see them there. So 6 strands in total of a cotton thread. So again, that's a little unusual. It's a nylon sheath, of course. Usually 32 threads in the sheath. Normally the 325 is 3 individual wrapped threads. Come on, focus. instead of 2. So it's probably another reason why I don't ever get this. So actually, I can't pull the whole thing off because it's sealed at the end. So there you go. I think we're going to be fighting with the focus on this the entire time. Here's the orange 550. And this one has quite a bit more strands on the inside. There's 7. 550 is typically 7 strands on the inside. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And each of these in this case is 2. But 7 strands on the inside, so the more strands on the inside, typically the stronger it is. So now for the gigantic black one here. How many strands do you think are in this? Let's find out if I can even get this sheath off because it's quite stiff. Come on, focus. There we go. That's a heck of a lot more. There's 14 in this. Just in case you want to know, I counted some earlier. This is 14 strands, so it's literally double the 550. And these are also... Come on, focus. These are also 2 strands each. So double the amount of strands, double the strength. So 325, 550, 1100. None of these are rated for climbing. None of them. And I'll explain why. 325 may be able to hold me up. But you're literally holding your weight by a thread. Or 2 in this case. The sheath is what gives it all the strength. In this case, plus whatever the inner core is. There is some elasticity here. There's about 10%. It can be even higher than that. It can go up to 30% on some of the paracords, depending on the brand. Most climbing ropes are single-digit elasticities because you really don't want them to stretch too much. Of course, so just in case you want to know, on climbing gear, the places that the rope typically breaks is not at a carabiner. It's not at the tool that you're using, but it'll be at the knot. Because when you make a knot, you're stressing only a couple of small pieces of it. So that's where it breaks. Now, 550 paracord, 550 pounds of strength. So that's about double my weight. Could I use this for climbing? No. Still not rated for climbing. Again, it's too elastic. It has too much elasticity to it. And it's really thin still. Even though the weight, the tensile strength before it breaks, after it's fully taut, is still more than enough to hold my weight. How are you going to hold this? You just go bloop, right out of your hand. You're going to get really bad, rope burn. And that was just slow. Now, 1100. So we're talking about a half a ton of weight. Would I still want to use this for climbing? No. You still cannot you can't legally use it for climbing. It's not rated for climbing at all. Again, it's too elastic. There's too much flex in it. And although it could physically hold your weight up, if you're climbing up or climbing down, you're going to be adding way too much tension onto this. With flex, it's just going to break. However, if there is a 100% chance of death by staying where you are, and a 95% chance of death by using one of the paracords to climb down or climb up out of danger, or you can try it. And that's a 5% chance of life. So, yeah, it could possibly get you out of danger, although you're probably going to get pretty torn up using it. You know, it's not great on the hands. It'll eat away your skin just from friction. Of course, you should be wearing gloves anyway, but gloves on something this thin is going to be hard to handle anyway. Not for climbing. Again, if it comes down to there's no other place to go and you need to escape and you want to take your chance, you could try it. You're probably going to die either way. But it'll be either by your choice, by your action, or inaction. So it's, you know, it's iffy there. So as I said, these are 3 kinds, but what else is there? You also have survival cords. Now Titan is the major one that's got jute twine, like a fishing line in it, a cotton thread, and a metal wire. I'm not a big fan of the ones with the metal wire in it. Most people use it for their shoelaces and constant bending of the lace, you know, from moving around, tightening it, and all that other stuff, will eventually break the wire on the inside. And now you have a rogue wire set on the inside, and it's just going to pierce through eventually the outer casing here, the sheath, and stab you in the finger. So it's a nice concept. I wouldn't use it for shoelaces. The Titan cord. Now, here is a survival cord. Kayokata. I don't remember how the brand of this is said. So this is 550 paracord. Alright. Got a little bit of jute twine inside, so you have an emergency fire starter. You have this little yellow line here, which is fishing line. A 30-pound strength of fishing line. Now look, it's still rated at 550, even though there's a 30-pound test line in there. And if you look really carefully, if I could find it, there is another, there's this one here. This tiny little white thread. It's cotton thread. So you can fix a button, or if you need to sew something, there is a thread that you can just pull out of the line if you needed to. Of course, this is a short length because it's only about 6 inches long there. So that's the concept of survival thread or survival cord. Now there is an inherent problem with these. When you go to use one that's clean, say if you had this inside the orange, just for shits and giggles here, and you needed to use a lighter to close off the end like the other side is, you may want to pull the jute twine out a little bit before you put it back in, because it'll burn even after you seal it. That could be a problem. So in which cases I typically use the little clips I showed in a prior one from CountyComm. I usually use ending clips like that and survival cord. So this one, of course, one of those things you can do with paracord. This is the handle to a titanium pry bar or breacher bar. So all it is just an overhand knot back and forth. Put it through the hole in the back, put a knot on it so it doesn't loosen. Add another knot down here, so this way you can put your hand in it and not worry about losing the tool. I can't show you here because I'll break the desk if I drop it. But the idea is to keep it in your hand if there's ever a problem. So I just use those kind of ties. The other thing that I typically do with paracord is this. This is 550 paracord. This is called a paracord donut. So this is 500 feet. I think this, if I remember correctly, this is 500 feet. It takes forever. Once you get going, go watch TV and build this, or watch kids at the bowl game or something while you make it. It's literally just a bunch of quick little knots. That's all it is. If I can do this with the camera in the way. We're going to keep going back and forth. The good thing about this is you can just simply pull and it will unravel. So it's a way to hold your cord in place. All it is just cord wrapped around itself over and over and over again. This is how I keep them in my car. This way I have a large amount of it. This is 550 paracord, sealed off the end. And that's it. So again, this is just another color. It's a nice color. And here's another 550 paracord. This is type 3 paracord, which is the common one. 550, 7 core yarns, made up of 3 nylon fibers each. 32 strand sheath, which is what most of them are. 4mm thickness. This is another one that's oval. This is 550 paracord, made by CountyComm. So just another nice color. There's hundreds of colors, as I said. So these are the 3 that most people are going to deal with, not counting the survival cords. 325, which is like a clothesline kind of thing. The 550 is the most common, and the 1100 is actually hard to find now. So it's made by UST. I believe they don't have any more 50-foot hanks like this. This is 50 feet. I believe they're now 30 feet. And the core material is a little bit different, but still rated at 1100. They have it orange, they have a camouflage, and they have a black. All the new ones are 30 foot. You can still find the 50-foot hanks floating around. Usually it's just new old stock. 550, this is actually 100 feet. And this is 50 feet, I believe. I went and checked that. It is 50 foot. So gear rated 325, medium duty. So recommend zipper pulls, all sorts of things. Shoelaces, anything, bootlaces, clotheslines, guidelines. So, hey, the gear raid's made in China. So, that's what you got there. The orange, I don't believe I have the package for that. And the black one comes up as this one, UST heavy duty cord. Let's see if I get this to focus. 50 foot, 1100. So made in China, sold, by Jacksonville, Florida. Everything's made in China now. But so that's just a quick rundown of paracord. The uses are too many for me to list. So if you do a Google search or even a YouTube search for paracord, you will find millions of things you can do with it. But that's it. So if you have any questions or comments, leave them below and I will answer them as soon as I can. If you like this, press like. If you want, subscribe. It's up to you. I'm not going to force you into doing it. I'm not going to tie you up and make you do it. By the way, these little carabiners that come with the Gear Aids ones, and I believe the UST also have, the 30-foot ones have a tiny little carabiner. They are also not for climbing. They're good to about 25 pounds before they snap and break and shrapnel everywhere. So if you're just having a little bit of gear or keys or something on a backpack, that's fine. You can just hang this off the backpack with that. That's fine. Don't put any good weight on them. They're not real carabiners. So thank you for watching. In the description below will be links to all of these. If I can find this one, I should still be able to find it, but if I cannot, I will get the newer versions, the 30-foot ones listed below, and I will denote them as 30 foot, not 50 foot. And I'll also leave a link to the survival cord and CountyComm for the tether clips. So you have all the good stuff that's involved in them. So thank you for watching and have a glorious day.